Okay, so good evening, everyone. I hope you are feeling in cozy. You are in the cozy mood now because we will have a cozy session. My name is Biljana Stojčeska. People who don't know me, you still didn't met me, so therefore I'm program coordinator, and guilty because of this very busy agenda these days. I hope you already have started nicely this morning. I have heard from my colleagues that you had very productive discussion this morning. Are you happy how you started our event? Yes? Nice. It was productive? Nice. Okay, we have very positive person here. Okay. What the other people says? It was productive or not? Yes? Okay, nice. So today we are finishing the day with three more elements of our program. This is the chit chat with the guest speaker. Then we will continue with the open mic, and two people from you will be speakers on the fireside chat together with Marko Vukcevic. So plan you to be busy till 7:30, around 7:30. So I am pleased to announce that together with us this evening is Miss Dolores Prin. Pran? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Dolores Pran. She is Public Affairs Officer and Spokesperson at the U.S. Embassy at Skopje. I made correct now. Okay. I am glad. And we will speak less. You will ask and speak with us more. So use your opportunity. Now is your period to ask questions and to speak. Not to ask only questions, but also you to share your what are your attitudes towards the topic and how the young people are involved in the EU Atlantic integration in our region. So now I will give the floor to Ms. Pran for short intro to the topic, and after that it's starting the chit chat with the guest speaker. Ms. Pran?
Okay, thank you very much. I am happy to be here with all of you. I'm not a very formal person, despite wearing a suit, so I'm glad to have a chit chat so we can have a conversation instead of a lecture or a panel. My name's Dolores. I have been with the State Department for 17 years. I've served in Brazil, Gabon, São Tomé, Príncipe, Yokohama, Okinawa, Wellington, Apia, Niue Cook Islands, and Krakow, and now I'm here with you. And I just arrived, as I mentioned at the other panel. I've been here exactly, I think we arrived around 8 p.m. 2 Fridays ago. So not exactly 2 weeks, but almost soon exactly 2 weeks. And super happy to be here. Before I joined the State Department, I had a career in the international music business. So I'm older than I look, but you guys are all young, so you know I must be old if I'm talking to you. So anyway, and that's pretty much it. I am happy to answer any questions you have about anything at all. So as far as topics go, bring it on. And then, yeah, that's it. Right? Okay.
Okay, just to be mentioned that we are live streaming the chit chat with the guest speaker on our channels, Facebook channels of Youth Alliance Kruševo and YouTube channels of Youth Alliance Kruševo, but don't be shy because only young people are following the Youth Alliance Kruševo page. So guys, who will break the ice about EU integration and what you think? How the young people in our region are in.
All of them should talk on the microphone
Yes.
in order
Yeah.
to be streamed.
I am 20 years in this NGO sector, Methodi. I know how to act. Thank you very much.
So do we need to go out to them?
Aye.
Okay.
I will be the messenger.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, guys, what do you think? How the young people are involved in the EU Atlantic integration region in the processes? How you are involved? How you feel about these processes?
Actually, and let me just chime in because I am brand new, right? But I'm going to be here for 3 years and maybe longer. So this is a great opportunity for you to tell me, as a representative of the U.S. government, how you feel about these issues.
Okay, nice. You will present yourself firstly, and then you will continue.
Okay. Hello again. My name is Ivo. I come from North Macedonia, from Ohrid.
I work in youth center in Ohrid. So I want to speak about, we always, our representatives speak about youth participation, that youth are the future, they have a very big part in our society, etc. But usually, my opinion and my experience, youth are just have some ceremonial role. They are just in the first row when the political party event is there, and that's it. When they want to bring some decision, they don't ask the youth, okay, what is your opinion? Because if the decision targets them, my opinion is they need to ask, okay, what you think about that? And first, I think we need to start from there to have to be more involved in participation and continue then with EU process and participate in the EU process. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Is there like a low age limit for running for office? Like, do you have to be 25 to run for office in North Massachusetts? So if you were 21, you could be a mayor if you wanted to?
Here is the limit is 18.
18?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really encouraging, actually, because that shows that just, legislatively, youth is not shut out from actually being the politicians yourselves. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's actually something that's inspired me in the United States is seeing, young people, sometimes very young people, running for, Congress, running for mayor, running for senator. And if there's an opportunity and you're saying, like, we're not seeing more than like a token representation of youth, then I think the best way, maybe not the easiest way, but the best way to change that is to have the youth actually be the ones in charge,
Make that
right?
decision. Yeah, I get
You
it.
know?
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eva, for sharing your thoughts with us. So next, okay, yeah, nice. Kostian?
Yes.
Nice, okay.
Let me present myself. I'm Kostian from Albania. Currently, I work as national coordinator for German cooperation in Albania. I'm also part of European Youth Democracy Network, which is financed by USAID. So we totally appreciate the help and support the US government put on young people in Albania and throughout Western Balkans. I would have a direct question to you, because as you said, you are new to our region, and you will see that young people, not only in Albania but also in North Macedonia, are in the whole Europe. And my question is on the US position on Western Balkans. So I remember when I was a high school student, back when President was Barack Obama, that the tension is moving from Western Balkan toward other regions like Middle East or Asia, as you know. The same happened during President Trump, and with President Biden we saw a different direction. So US started to put more attention toward Western Balkan. In my opinion, the role of US is crucial. Will continue to be? Is there any chance that it will be not as high as today, like in the future? Thank you.
That's a really good question, and it's really complicated, but I think kind of the basis of the question is what I wanted to talk about first, because there is a perception that, like, depending on who's in charge, our attention shifts. And, I remember actually I was serving in East Asia when everyone was talking about the pivot to Asia and, oh, we're going to have more diplomats in Asia, we're going to, and actually I think a lot of it is media focus, to be fair. It's just because there's a news article that says the US government is doing X, Y, and Z now in Asia doesn't mean we've stopped doing anything that we're doing anywhere else. I think the reason that a lot of the world is now focused on this particular part of the world is Ukraine, right? And everybody, it wasn't like we weren't already here. It wasn't like we weren't already working with NATO countries to strengthen the eastern flank of NATO. But it's kind of almost like, obviously, the war, but also the media attention has shifted. So before, maybe they were about China and about, the Middle East or Afghanistan. And now, because they're getting the headlines here, you're seeing a lot more news articles focused on this part of the world, and particularly the border region with Ukraine. We had the refugees coming out. We had a lot of attention on, like, you know, Americans are not always the best at geography. And so there was a lot of attention. Like, what are the border countries with Ukraine? Where are the refugees? And so I think, in general, that the idea that the focus of the U.S. government shifts and our resources shift is not exactly true. I think we're always kind of focused everywhere. And I know, as a diplomat, having served in lots of different regions in South America, in Africa, in East Asia, and now in Europe, everywhere I am, it's always like, you feel like, you know, you see the Lord of the Rings, and you know, like the eye of Sauron, or are you guys too young for that? No, you like, you know what I'm saying? So like, wherever you are in your post, your embassy, your consulate, you kind of feel like that's DC, and the eye is looking at you wherever you are. You're, you know, you have their attention, and they care, and they're giving you money and resources and support and staff. So I would say, ask yourself when you have that perception, when you're like worried, like, oh, wait a minute, I'm like reading all this stuff that the US government is now super focused on China and 5G and TikTok, and maybe they don't care about helping us anymore. Like, no, it's really not the case. We're always, our priorities are pretty consistent and tend to stay the same even when the media's attention, you know, shifts. Maybe it's more accurate to say the media is the eye of Sauron, and they're shifting, because that's kind of a negative thing. I don't want to imply that the eye is a bad thing in my metaphor. Okay.
Okay, this was nice chat between you two. Okay, who is next? Nice.
Sorry, I just maybe I was a bit late, but I'm very happy that I'm here. I'm coming from Albania. I'm Lorenza, been served as a diplomat way on the past, and currently as I'm a lecturer on diplomacy, but also with an experience of up to 13 years on NGOs and those kind of youth aims. Well, my question is that will be, you said, and you're since you're gonna have a new position on this region for up to the upcoming 3 years, is it would be able to hear or listen every person or NGO that works in this kind of field with a focus on youth and democracy would be able, or would be easier to just make it like on a simpler way, to just knock on your door and to express our ideas? Because usually the process of getting funded and making a project is quite difficult on a bureaucratic level. Somehow maybe that would be easier to make it on a much more smoother process. I don't know what is your opinion about that.
So
Thank you.
I just want to make sure I understand the question totally. So you're saying, is it better for like NGOs and organizations that are seeking support to come one by one to like knock on our door?
Yeah,
or is it better to come
No. You totally understood, because it's very difficult in order to make it your story or your concern being answered somehow. So if we could decide to make this process a bit much more less bureaucratic, because we're thinking about the youngsters, and all of us, we look for a simpler ways of having that.
Okay,
Thank you.
so a couple things. So we're a pretty big embassy here, but obviously there are a lot of organizations. So it's hard to say I want to meet with every single one. But of course, ideally, I would meet with every single one.
Yeah.
But here's my advice. And this advice kind of actually goes to everything in life in a way. Like, okay, so you all have jobs, right? And probably when you applied for a job, or even if you've hired people at your job, right? People are applying, you put a job out there, and you say, I need X, Y, and Z in this kind of educational experience. Trust me, this is related to your question. So So then people come to you and they say, oh, I've always wanted to work in Albania. Like, and so this is a great opportunity for me. Like, do you want to hire that person? Like, I mean, yeah, it is a great opportunity, and maybe you do really want to live here and work here, but how are you going to help my organization, right? How are you going to help me achieve my goals? So when you're looking to get something from someone, whether it's a job or anything, money, attention, my advice is to present your argument, your position, your organization, yourself in a way that addresses something that the other party wants. So it's easy with the US government because we publish the list of our priorities. So you can actually go to the US Embassy on Skopje. It's called the Integrated Country Strategy. It's publicly available. And you can say, oh, look, they're focused on, whatever it is, anti-corruption efforts. They're focused on, youth and civic activism, whatever it is. And then if you contact us, even if it's through a general email box, and you say, I see that this is your priority, and my organization is really focused on this priority, and we can help you achieve your goals as you stated you want to achieve them if you give us money, if you come talk to us, then that's the best way to get us to notice and to prioritize a meeting with you over a meeting with someone else who said, I've always wanted to get a grant from the embassy. Who wouldn't, right? So I just say that because certainly, and there are also different channels, right? We have USAID, we have public diplomacy funds, we have all these different divisions in the State Department that have streams of funding for nonprofits and to help us achieve our goals and to help, hopefully, build the bilateral relationship and strengthen ties and even things, like people to people, like, hey, people to people, chit-chatting, so that would be my advice, is just don't assume that just because we're busy that we don't have time to talk to you.
No,
just
for the information, I never tried to contact. So
yeah, but
it's
if you
just
can
a question
focus.
due to the fact that you all are already here, and I really wanted to. So yeah.
Absolutely. So
Thank you.
we would love to hear from everybody who has good ideas. If you have bad ideas, maybe fix them first.
Okay. Guys, just we to have some constructive discussion. So we are speaking about Euro-Atlantic integration and the young people in our region. It's nice what we are speaking now, and I like you to have freedom, but take this in your minds, okay? Okay. So who is next?
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Nderim. I come from Kosovo. I'm the coordinator of Forum for Civic Initiatives, an NGO based in Pristina. As we had some discussions earlier, and we kind of agree that the biggest problem for our youth here is that most of them are thinking of migrating. So if I talk about a survey that has been done in Kosovo, around 70% of the young people want to leave the country. What's your advice, or what's your idea how to stop that, if you think that the United States should help us stop that? Because we all know that United States takes a huge part of migration on their population. So that's why. Do you agree we should stop it? If yes, how?
So, of course, we always say we want the best and the brightest in the United States, and I certainly encourage people to study in the U.S. and to work in the U.S. if they're interested in it. I want to point out something, though. We have a program, it's called the J Visa program. That's like an exchange program, right? And that's like when you go to the U.S. on an exchange to get some kind of professional experience, like maybe you're a doctor and you're going to do a residency at another medical institution or something. But built into that is the obligation to return to your host country for a certain time, because of exactly what you're saying. We want people to benefit but then to also help their host countries benefit. That doesn't mean that it's not immigration proof, right? And so if someone, goes and has the program, goes back to their country, lives there for 3 years, and then decides they want to move to the US and gets a job, okay, fine, great. I think brain drain is a problem everywhere. It's absolutely a problem everywhere, and there are different reasons for it. Sometimes you'll say, oh, well, like, countries that are in the EU have more brain drain because it's easier for people to go live and work somewhere else. And then sometimes you'll hear people say the opposite. Like, if you're not in the EU, the EU seems more attractive, so you lose people to go to have that. I'm not really sure what the solution is, but in my opinion, the way that I guess I would look at it is, it's your country. If you want to make it better, you're going to have to do some work at home. It doesn't mean don't go somewhere else. And I mean, obviously, I've lived all over the world. I haven't lived in the United States in a very long time, but I'm representing my country, and I love my country, and I'm trying to help my country from overseas. So it's a difficult issue, and I'm not, and I kind of feel like I'm a very individual person, so I like the idea of people being able to, if it's been your dream to be a chef in Paris, go be a chef in Paris, right? But at the same time, when there's a real need somewhere, they need good doctors, they need good lawyers, they need good, politicians. It's something I would encourage people to kind of focus on home too. Sorry.
I have a question for you. You will be in Kosovo for 5 years or not?
Yeah, I mean, I used to live in the United States. I was in high school, so I came back.
Okay.
You came back. That's cool. That's
Mhm.
Please use the microphone.
Okay.
I'm trying. And I want to apologize because I think it was my fault because I told them they could talk about whatever they wanted, and so if we're off topic, you can blame me.
No, nobody. It's a chit chat. It's a informal activity. Okay, who is next? Okay. Can I ask you to come on my place, my dear friend? Come. Yeah.
You're on
Ah.
live stream now.
Yeah. You just sit
Okay.
here.
Hello. In another position. Okay. I am Goyard. Okay.
Talk to it. Just talk.
Okay. I also, as my friend, I also come from Kosovo. I work as a journalist for 5 years. If I'm allowed, I wanted to ask something related to politics. Okay. There is a debate that happens not seldom at all about that in United States policies, attitude towards the Western Balkans changes depending who runs the office. So whether it's the president Republican or it is a Democrat. According to you, is it that true? Is it United States unique in their policy, in their attitude towards Western Balkan, or it changes depending the situation, depending who runs the administration and the policies there? Thank you.
So the short answer is no, right? So the administration or the party in power, that's one part of the government. But Foreign Service officers are told when we join the State Department that we have to represent the administration and its policies. And that means whether I'm a Republican or a Democrat, I have to represent the policies of the Republicans or Democrats. And that doesn't change. Also, a lot of our policies are very consistent. Like I kind of said right at the beginning, where it appears that the focus might shift, maybe based on what the media is covering, maybe based on, the administration. The actual work that we're doing overseas stays pretty consistent. So we're always focused on issues like the rule of law, supporting democracies and strengthening them, empowering youth, promoting diversity, these things that are kind of consistent with the values of the United States, and we are always looking to other countries who share our values to help us, and we're always looking at countries where we're concerned to see how can we help them, right? So this is, you know, there's like that saying we have, Rome wasn't built in a day. So our government, if you're talking just about the White House, it changes every 4 years, right? If we actually changed all our priorities and all our work based on, you know, one person's opinion every 4 years, we'd never get anything done, right? So I think the beauty of the United States is that we have sort of consistent values, and we're trying to share those values. And so regardless of, you know, like you said, that some people don't care about this part of the world or something like that, and that's not at all the case. Well, I was just going to say that basically it may appear based on media, based on press, based on stuff you're reading on Reddit or whatever, that things are, oh, everything's changing overnight. And in reality, I wish we could change things overnight sometimes, because then we could solve everybody's problems like that. But it's a slow process. Democracy are, you know, I meant to say diplomacy, not democracy. Diplomacy is a process, and so it's not something that you can do really quickly. So,
Thank you.
I hope that answered.
Thank you very much. In order to bring our discussion into our topic, in certain topic, I am in front of the camera again. Bravo. I don't know how I'm managing to be all the time in front of the camera.
This is a multi-camera shoot. This is
Yeah.
this is high tech.
So, as Youth Alliance Kruševo team, we are implementing one mechanism, process of establishing of youth cooperation offices. So maybe I would give the floor to one of my colleagues and also to have a short discussion with you how these mechanisms for youth cooperation in our region can help the young people to be involved in these very important processes, EU-Atlantic processes. So, Anelia, Metodia. Okay.
Thank you, Biljana. Okay, I'm Metodia. I'm the director of Youth Alliance Kruševo. I'm not young anymore, but I'm working with the young people. Unfortunately, I'm not young anymore, but I'm working with the young people and for young people. A long time ago, we started one process for cooperation and reconciliation with our partners from Greece, to start communication between two countries, between young people, active young people from both countries. Why? Because we are next to each other. One day political issues will be solved, and we should sit on the same table and to talk about the cooperation, about the future. We don't have that kind of exclusivity and opportunity like in video game to choose the neighborhood and to move our country in some other region in Europe, let's say in Scandinavian region. We are here next to each other, and we should communicate and we should talk. Because of that, we start one process for the establishment of the youth cooperation offices as a tool for reconciliation and to give to the young people opportunity to learn about each other. Let's say we did a lot of researches about the perspectives of young people from Greece, how they perceive the situation and young people in our country, and about our people from North Macedonia, how they perceive the situation and young people in Greece. And on the very beginning, we were really disappointed. Why? Because young people can say we hate the others from the other side of the border. On the question why you hate that people, our neighbors, did you know someone from the other side of the border? Did someone, do you have some bad experience with the people from the other side. They said no, but I don't like them. And let's say for the people from North Macedonia, they know about Greece only about the beach on the Halkidiki. They know about the Mediterranean cosmos, and they know about the Tsimiski Street in Thessaloniki, most famous shopping area in the city. And young people from Greece, they know about our country only if someone from our country steals some motorbike in Thessaloniki. They will find information on the media, and when they travel to the rest of the to the other European countries, they should pass with the bus through our country. And we want to create a tool as a mechanism for reconciliation and cooperation between young people from both countries. We want to copy some similar model of reconciliation between France and Germany, which is used between France and Germany. When they start after Second World War, with creation of the after the signing of the Elysee Treaty, they start with the creation of the youth cooperation offices. In that time, the young people should meet on the neutral territory, let's say in Switzerland, in order to talk. Young Germans, they didn't like to pass the border and to travel in France, and young people from France, they didn't like to travel in Germany. But now they can say that more than 8 million people pass through the processes of reconciliation of the and activities of the youth cooperation offices. I don't want to waste the time. I will give the microphone now to my colleague Anelia Mitrova. She will explain maybe in details much more about our activities for youth cooperation offices.
This is supporting the EU Atlantic.
And the chit chat, the chit chat part of
Yeah,
the
so
chit chat.
no, very brief because tomorrow, as I announced in the morning, that we're gonna speak about the initiative, and I would like to listen to your advice and your tips how to advance the cooperation and the political will from the decision makers. But in terms of the chit chat, do you think that this kind of initiative can advance the European integration in terms of if we do cooperate with our neighbors, does this will bring us on the pathway towards EU?
Yeah, well, I think you're already well on the pathway. I mean, if we're talking specifically about North Macedonia, obviously there are steps that still need to be taken, but well on the way. I think as far as integration for all the countries in the region into the EU, I would also say that everyone is kind of well on the path. There's a program that we have in the State Department called the International Visitor Leadership Program, IVLP. And the whole point of the IVLP is to get people to the United States who may not know what it's like, who may have crazy ideas, only watch, Friends or whatever. I don't know, I'm trying to think of Beverly Hills 90210, something. So you have this idea of what the United States is and you haven't been. So we have this program in the State Department to take young leaders to the US, and they don't just go to one city, right? They start in Washington, D.C., and then they go all over the place. So, and they always go someplace that you don't think of. Like they might go to, a small town in Kentucky, or they might go to someplace in Iowa, like you, right? And the point is to show people that there's a lot more to the United States than you think, and even if you've met some Americans, maybe you just met some rude American tourists, I don't know, maybe you just heard about a criminal who stole a motorcycle. But if you go to the country and you interact with the people, or if the people come to your country and you have an opportunity for a prolonged period to interact with them, which is kind of like what we're doing here, where we're bringing a whole bunch of people together from the region, then that is we know that that changes people's minds, and we know that that opens people's minds and hearts. So we continue to support that kind of program, and that's just one program. We have a whole bunch of State Department sponsored exchanges with the goal of exposing people to the real United States. And I think that when you're talking about problems between neighbors, you might have something similar in the United States. For example, you might meet someone who says like, "Oh, I don't like Mexico." Well, why? Well, because I hear whatever the media is saying about it. They might say, "Oh, I don't even like Mexican food." Well, I can tell you something right here. Mexican food in the United States is not Mexican food. It's very different. So, like, for example, if they go and they experience and they meet somebody, then they have a basis to start to formulate an informed decision. So our goal with supporting programs like this and anything, and it could be anything, like we're talking right now EU integration, but it literally could be any subject where you're trying to get consensus and you're trying to have progress. If you just have people talk to each other and get to know each other, I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. So this is a great step. So there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. No, we have time. Just, is it okay to give the floor to somebody, because you already had your minute?
You can ask me later. It's okay.
Yeah, if you want, we can continue with the chit chat, just if it's interesting for you. So it's not problem. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Arben. I also come from Albania. I'm a director of project and EU relations in Kavaja municipality. It's a municipality known for its tourism, and it's near the region of Tirana. But anyway, I want to discuss something that affects the entire Western Balkan. One of the problems of our politicians and politics in entire are that when a politician gets into office, he wants to stay there forever. First of all, it is not. It is allowed with law. We are not like in U.S. that we have only two elections, 2 terms, 8 years, but we don't have a limit of it. So every politician tries every way, collaborating with everyone, raising corruption, and doing all the bad effects that this passion to stay for all lifetime in power brings to the country. So we have examples almost in every country of Western Balkans. We feel this problem, and I think that this is one of the main problems. By supporting youth into projects like this, and by supporting youth into being more politically active, do you believe that this in Western Balkan, that the Western Balkan youth, by being supported by this project and by being politically active, can bring an end to this madness in our political stage? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I believe very strongly that the younger generation is the generation that's like going to save the world. You guys have to solve all the problems. Just kidding. But I do want to address the corruption question, because it is a problem, I mean, globally, but we know here. And the U.S. Is dedicated to the rule of law, and we like to call out corrupt actors. And one of the issues with corruption, like you just kind of mentioned, is it affects the citizens of the country on a fundamental level, right? It's going against your rights. It affects the economy. It affects the rule of law. It shows that, you know, people in power don't respect the laws by which they're elected. So it is a major issue that needs to be addressed. It's my hope that by calling out corrupt actors and by pointing out corruption when we see it, that we can show that there are consequences to corruption and that, you know, you can't just rule with impunity in your position. We support the governments in the region as they pursue anti-corruption measures. And then you might say, well, if the governments are corrupt, then how can you work with them to support anti-corruption? But this is where I have to kind of turn it back on you guys and say, you know, if the politician's not doing a good job, whether they're corrupt or whether they're, you know, whatever it is, you know, in some countries it's fixing elections, in some countries it's not having elections. It's really up to the youth and the political activists to try to make a difference. And I think running for office is a very direct way to do it. In some places, you know, they protest the laws they don't like. In some places, it's, you know, whistleblowing, as we call it, where you point out malfeasance when you see it, when you say, hey, this guy over here is doing something that's not right. So it's a very serious issue, and it's one that the United States takes very seriously. And I really hope that, like you said, in this sort of thing, in helping you guys connect, in helping you network, in giving you opportunities to talk about ways to deal with these problems, that like you guys are going to come up with solutions too. You know, I mean, we're trying, but we really do want to hear from you and hear what you think, and really value, you know, the input of the youth in these sort of issues.
Okay, so striving towards we to keep the plan of the agenda, I would like to thank you for these 40 productive minutes with our group. And I would like to invite you, because we will have 20 minutes open mic, to invite you to be in our audience, because the young people will have opportunity to share their attitudes toward this topic openly on mic. So thank you very much for your time. And so guys, now I will move my chair, and now you can share your thoughts here from my spot in order the world to listen to you. So because I'm pretty much sure that somebody of you want to be listened, because our also slogan is be a voice, not an echo. So now I'm inviting you to be a voice, not an echo, on the topic resilient peace, Euro-Atlantic integration, young people in our region, issues of young people in our region. So, yeah.
I will follow up.
Nice. Go ahead. Yeah.
So my comment was related to economy. 3 out of 6 countries in Western Balkans are part of NATO. US is our strategic ally. For example, Albania and US have amazing relations in terms of political affairs and military, but what we lack is economy. And my question to you that I wanted to ask was related to economy, because I think that the economic relation between Albania, let's say, and the US are not so high. So the US, not US government, US companies' investments are lower than they should be. We have US commerce chains, etc., but what is important is also for US embassies to focus on economy. Of course, it's related also to our governments to make it more profitable for US business to invest in our countries. But what I may add is that also US government, also US embassies should focus a bit on the economy, how to push US companies to start investing in our countries. That was our comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who is next? I have heard that a lot of people were vocal this morning. I didn't listen some thoughts about from Croatia. We have a group of Croatia. So thoughts from Croatia, thoughts from Bosnia, thoughts from thinking about the young people. Hmm? North Macedonia.
When it comes to America, Albanians are first.
Really? Okay, okay. Ivo? Ivo, you want to continue? Yes.
Okay. I will back on the topic with the corruption. It's interesting, but because it's also connect with brain drain somehow in our region. So for stopping, we spoke last night with someone also the problem of corruption here in North Macedonia. I think we should start changing the court system to start the vetting process, and also to start the implementation of the law against corruption, because we have a very good laws against corruption, but the implementation it's really a problem here, because if someone sees that he will be punished if he do corruption, then the others, okay, we will need to stop. And a lot of young going abroad not just because of money, because of problem of corruption, problem of slow system for finish your some works you have to be done. And I think if we start changing in better way against corruption, then also we will stop the brain drain. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so who I'm encouraging next? Come on, Bosnian group. Here. You're tired?
No, personally I'm letting my thoughts set in about everything.
Come, my dear, come. Let's talk. Come. You should share your thoughts.
Share them before you cook them.
Yes.
Can I sit?
Yes. You can be in your comfort zone. Okay.
Can I ask you guys a question, let's say? What would you like to point out of everything that we talked about today? What is your conclusion regarding, let's say, cooperation between non-governmental organization and government in itself, like for each and every country? Do you have any ideas how our countries could benefit from that thing actually happening in your countries? Did you not understand the question?
No, the question was very clear, but it's just that, as you said it before, I need to...
Yeah, that is exactly what I was doing, and why I didn't want to be presenting the topic itself, because I wrote some ideas about what I personally could do, and especially about the thing you said about giving the people, the organization we're asking something from, the thing they need. So if, let's say, we would like to approach our government, what would be the thing that we want to give them in order for them to be more engaged with us?
Come. Yes. Come. Use the floor. Yeah.
Sorry, but I feel that the young people in our societies are not heard enough. And thanks to Youth Alliance, we had the opportunity to go to the Swedish residency, where young people from North Macedonia and Bulgaria targeted the same problems that we have in order to find the solution for those problems. And that's actually a good thing. And that's the first time as a young person that I felt that I'm heard from someone. Then someone acknowledged me, someone heard my thoughts, and someone is ready to take actions. Because most of the time people feel like, okay, I can be an active citizen, I can go to these kind of things, but what if the government doesn't hear us? So I think that
I think they feel like they don't have any options.
Yes,
but honestly, maybe we just didn't try too hard. I think in every government there's even, like, let's say, one person, one delegate, one, I don't know, member of a council or something that will like actually to hear the youth voice.
Yes, because youth people are more open-minded and you cannot easily fool them. Like that's why they don't always want to work with us. So I think that's like a big problem for.
Yeah, but I think this question is really a question all of us should ask ourselves if we want to be like inactive members of our society in our countries, and the change itself happening, it doesn't come from other people. I think it always needs to start with ourselves first. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. It was very productive. Nice. Thank you very much. So who is next? We have 6 more minutes. The Croatia. Where are the Croatians? Here. Who I'm encouraging from Croatia? The guys, you are new. You should encourage these guys to be for the EU pets. You can share some story why it's relevant and important we to be EU citizens. Nobody? Are you hungry? Yes, come. You can go there. Yeah, it's easier.
So since we're live, if the video has no voice, people will think that I'm singing. But just to make something funny. Of course. I'm starting. First, I want everybody, each of you, to look at each other. I know that each one of us like to stay in our nationalities group. For example, we Albanians like to stay with each others, Bosnians with each others. I know. And Croatians with each others. But people from all over the world see Western Balkans entirely as a place of conflict. They say that Albanians hate Serbs. Serbs and Kosovo are in war. Montenegro or Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia hate each other. Everybody see the region like they are fighting. If they see an Albanian and a Serb together, dancing or singing or drinking a coffee, they will watch frightening like a next war is happening. But the reality is not like this. The reality is completely different. What has happened in another generation must stay in in the previous generation. Now, our generation, we young people, should look again at each other and see at each other a friend, a way to support, a door to collaborate, a wall that must be climbed, and to send the past to the past and open a new window for the future. We are no Serbs, Bulgarian, Croatian, Albanians here. We are young people who like to make a change in their countries, and we are young people who want to join EU and a better perspective for their country. Thank you very much. That was my message.
Very nice. Thank you. Oh my God, very nice. Somebody there I had listen. Alan, Alan. Who is Alan? Alan.
Yeah, I mean, just to maybe say a couple of words, because we had quite an intensive discussion this morning about what does, the whole process mean to us. But, sorry, and I think like for us in Croatia, we are young, but we really didn't experience not being in the EU since it has been 10 years ago and I was a kid, so I can't really remember how it was not being part of it, and it's like normal in Croatia already, we have it in ourselves that we're part of it. But I think like it has affected our society in every single way and everywhere, from regulations that deal with food to security, whatever, and also being part of NATO, being part of a bigger family that is transatlantic as well. And I think like for sure it's the only path for this region, and we cannot let this region go into some other direction. And I believe, standing with European values, which we talked about for the morning, and also, maybe not European, but also transatlantic, since the US is also here, which sometimes we forget, I think. And cherishing this bond, I believe, is crucial for, the community here in the Western Balkans, plus the countries that are already in the EU, to actually prosper and, bring opportunities. And there are many for youth, through Erasmus, through employment opportunities, etc. So that's why I didn't really know what to say exactly, because I believe, we have a completely different perspective, as we have been part of it for quite some long time. But I think it's the only right path for the country. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Alan. Bravo. Okay. So somebody left for the thoughts? No? Okay. Marco, can I invite you here with me? Or you feel comfort there? Yeah, come, and we will announce the next element. So guys, slowly we are finishing the open mic. And why I'm inviting Marco? Marco will be your moderator for the fireside chats. And we have selected 2 persons who will be part of the fireside chat. Most probably we will start around 7:30, because we need to prepare the place, and it will be Marco will lead the people who will be. It will be in one. We wanted to be outside, but it's not possible. And plus, it will be video recorded, and this will be also publicly element. So Marco, who will be your guests?
I don't know who will be my guest. Anelia, who will be my guest?
I know who will be, but no, Helena Murk.
Croatia.
Okay, and Suzana Maric Sejadia. Okay, so girls, is it okay you to be guests to fireside chat? Huh? Yeah? Nice. So just you are following Marco after this session, and you will prepare yourself. You have 2 girls.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they're going to be watching live.
Most probably we will record the fireside chat, and we will publish tomorrow most probably, or the next day, because we want to prepare a little more attractive video.
I would really like to ask all of you to watch it when we publish it, because it's going to be very personal with them, but it's also going to be quite interesting, I think, and I hope so, because usually it was when we did this at the conference last year, and
it was the best element. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just please take your time. It's gonna be, by the way, for both of you, it's gonna be maybe like, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes maximum. It's just a like short chit chat, basically. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Marco, for this support. And guys, from now you are free. You can have dinner from 7 or from 8.
Whenever it's served, they're waiting for us, and they will serve it.
Okay, whenever it's served, you can take your dinner, and we are together during the dinner, continuously talking about our perspective of the region. Thank you very much for the session.
Vamos muito.